Hi, I'm JP.
And I'm Adam.
I've never seen Lost.
I have.
I'm told that it's good.
I liked it.
I'm told that it made sense.
Sort of.
But we're watching it out of order.
So it definitely won't make sense.
But it might still be good. Since we won't expect it to make sense, we'll still be able to appreciate each episode on its own merits as a 1-hour story.
Sometimes 2 or 3.
As opposed to just a fraction of an ongoing, sprawling, and increasingly complex tangle of relationships, personal stories, mysteries, mythologies, experiments, social dynamics, unnatural disasters, unanswered questions, and hot tropical hookups.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
Because you lost me a little bit there at the end.
Well, good, because I've been lost since the beginning.
We're lost on Lost.
Welcome, everybody, to Lost on Lost. I'm JP Russell, and I'm joined, as always, by a man who's not a bore to be around, Adam Busher.
I don't know how to react to that. I'm here. Hi, I'm Adam. I want to boo you, but also at the same time, that's a joke I'd make. So
Adam, I had a really interesting advertising meeting recently.
What?
When we were recording our last episode, I was having a whole bunch of issues at my house and a whole bunch of other things going on, and I was having a lot of problems finding a quiet place to record. So I was in a panic because it was right before we were going to record the episode, and then I was like, shit, where am I going to go? I have no place quiet. And then I was like, oh, there's a hotel right down the street from my house, and I have all these Hilton points, and I can use these, and it'll be a nice quiet space. And a lot of wheeling and dealing happening in hotels.
It's the fast-paced world of advertising.
Right. And so I did a little bit of sort of social media, sort of underground marketing. And as I was carrying all my podcasting gear up to the hotel room, the other people I was sharing the elevator with were like, "You podcasting?" I was like, "Yeah, listen to Lost on Lost." So basically, it's starting. We're going now, baby. That's how it starts. That's a grassroots movement right there.
Oh, I did see a small spike in our analytics. So there's a better than even chance that it worked.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's funny, JP, that if you see a white man in the wild with a microphone, everyone assumes it's a podcast.
No, I work for NPR. Today we're talking about Outlaws, the 16th episode of season 1 and the 16th episode overall. Outlaws centers around everyone's best drinking buddy, James Sawyer Ford. Outlaws takes place on the 29th through 31st days after the crash of Oceanic Flight 815. Adam, do you have a recap for us?
I do have a recap, JP.
Let's do it.
Have you seen this boy? At Survivor Beach, James Sawyer Ford is under siege by the very force of nature that everyone else so desperately wants to eat. A wild boar destroys Sawyer's tent and leads him on a wild chase through the jungle. Along the way, Kate Austin and John Locke lend a hand. Sort of. Elsewhere, Charlie Pace deals with the emotional fallout of the cold-blooded and ill-advised murder of Ethan Rahm.
Mm-hmm.
Hugo Reyes enlists ex-soldier Saeed Jarrah to help the bassist/backup singer cope with having taken a life. And in the before times, we see the tragic genesis of young James Ford into the man they call Sawyer. Between Kylo and Hibbs, Sawyer sure knows a lot of dudes with dumb names. Exactly how many killers were on Flight 815? I feel like 4 is at least 4 too many. PTSD? More like PTSD's nuts. It's Outlaws here on Lost on Lost.
There it is. How did it take us this long to have a solid D's nuts in the intro? Oh my god.
JP.
Yeah.
We have a guest.
What?
No, I want to welcome to the show a good friend of ours from way back in the day, Jake Mandel.
Hi, friends.
Welcome to the show, Jake.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for signing the NDA. Thanks for
absolutely
agreeing to take SAG rates.
Hey, man, that's more income than I'm used to, so I'm pretty excited about
it. So the three of us met in college, so we've known each other for a good long while.
If you don't mind me interrupting, I actually have a statement
that
I want to make.
Is this a statement or a manifesto?
No, this is just a short statement.
Okay.
So it's kind of like it must be an amends or something. Back in the day, every once in a while we might hit up the bars in Oshkosh, something like that. I might have a little bit of a hazy memory of certain events. So I'm not sure what I did to hurt one of you guys. I don't know if I said something. I don't know if there was something I did that I don't remember, but I get you're punishing me now by giving me a Sawyer and Kate team up episode. So I'm sorry. Whatever it was, I'm sorry.
Whatever you did do, it can't be any worse than whatever Busher did to convince me to be the co-host of this podcast. So,
and whatever it was, I was probably blacked out, so I don't remember it.
yeah.
It must be something. So
It's got to be something. Some sort of karmic repercussion is happening here, certainly.
absolutely.
Why don't we talk a little bit, Jake, about your history with Lost? Did you watch Lost when it first aired back in 2004 through 2010-ish?
Yes. So I was in high school for when it first started. And this was a time that we didn't really watch a lot of TV during the week just because we had things going on or whatever. But I remember we would get DVDs from the library. Mm-hmm. Like when the full season was done, we'd get the whole pack of DVDs sent in, and then we would just like binge watch it. Once I was in college, I caught up and I started watching it, and I watched the whole show. I was definitely in on the like, whoa, what's going on? What's all this lore? Trying to figure things. Like I wasn't on message boards or whatever, but I was definitely into the whole show all the way through. And without getting into the end and everything, like I thought it was pretty good the whole way. Like it definitely hooked me the whole way for sure. So
You guys want to get into some Lost?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's fucking go. Outlaws originally aired on February 16th, 2005. It was written by Drew Goddard and directed by Jack Bender. Drew Goddard is currently set to write a film called Robopocalypse, which I assume is written in big, bold letters on Mark Zuckerberg's whiteboard. And Jack Bender directed the made-for-TV movie Tricks of the Trade, which is also the name of my juggling autobiography. We open, as we do on this fucking show, with an eye.
Take a shot. That's what I wrote down. That was my note. Because you had mentioned in the past that if this happens again, you're going to take a shot.
And then immediately from there, I got to ask, hey, Drew Goddard, you doing all right?
my first note is, Jesus Christ, that's some heavy shit.
Yeah.
Like this got done, and I was like, I thought to I paused it when the first scene ended, and I was like, I'm prepared to forgive and apologize for every terrible thing I've ever said about Sawyer, because holy fuck is this man damaged.
Really bad.
Do you guys remember what time the show was on? Like, did this just come on after some sitcom or some shit? And like people are like, what is happening?
Yeah. Very well done, very short scene. I mean, if it had gone on anymore, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
If this is a horror movie, that you see the blood start to drip through the mattress type of thing, like, and I'm so glad that didn't happen, because this was horrifying enough.
The guy had some nice boots, though.
He did have some nice boots.
Yes, no doubt.
But yeah, just to I guess summarize, we start in a flashback, Sawyer's childhood. Immediately, we hear someone banging on a door, screaming, and his mom waking him up saying, he's here, you gotta hide, I love you. She hides him under the bed. She goes to meet whoever the attacker is. We hear a gunshot. We see the assailant walk into the room, sit down on the bed, and we hear another gunshot. I don't want to make goofs about this, guys. This is a really dark fucking scene.
Yeah, I don't have any jokes. I'm just fucking like.
That's what I said to my wife last night when we were watching it. I was like, well, this is going to be a fun show to joke about, because it's pretty much, I mean, it definitely gets better, but
but it's
this episode of television. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Pretty bleak.
Yeah. We cut back to the present, to the beach, a place we're all familiar with. We all love.
Jimmy Buffett loves it. We love it. Our audience loves it. Everybody loves the fucking beach.
Sawyer, is he sleeping, or does he get woken up?
He kind of wakes up out of a nightmare, cold sweats sort of situation.
And there's something in his tent.
Probably Claire.
I was going to say, is it Kate, finally? No, it's a boar.
It's a boar. It's rummaging around his shit.
This is camping. They don't keep stuff in your tent that animals are going to come after. That's why
Never.
you cache that stuff away from the sleeping area. So that way, a boar doesn't come in and ransack your tent and steal your tarp.
As you've pointed out many times, there's fucking polar bears like roaming around, and they just recently got in a fight with one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Right. And like in the world of camping and backpacking, there's literally something called a bear bag. So like it's the idea of keeping your food away from bears.
Yeah.
There are bears on this island. You should be bear bagging all your
Everything.
shit.
All
Yes.
all the time.
All the time.
He chases the boar out into the woods. No shirt, no shoes. He's dehydrated, so he's looking good.
Hey, for a guy running in sand, though, he is booking it, man.
Yeah, he's pretty hot in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I kind of forgot because I've been listening to your podcast and I'm like, man, Sawyer really sucks. Like what what is redeeming about? And then I'm like, okay, I kind of get it a little bit now. Like he's
like,
pretty hot.
yeah,
in this
he's the
episode.
hot bad boy. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Right. And then I saw Jack and I was like, ugh, I don't know, man. Like what is going on with him? Because I remember him being a lot dreamier, and I was just like, "What is going on right now?"
Jack always looks like he hasn't slept in a month. He's sweating and he's out of breath and he's pale.
Yeah, Sawyer runs after that there boar, and while he's in the jungle, he's hearing some whispers.
Yeah, this is not the first time we've heard people hearing the whispers on the podcast. We still have no clue as to what it is.
I think it's really effective. It's really good.
It sets the tone for like the spookiness of the jungle for sure.
Guys, I don't want to set the episode up on a weird tone here going forward, but I need to talk about cinematography right now.
Yay.
We end this sequence right before the cold open on a jib shot of Sawyer, right? It's above him. They're rotating the camera 360 degrees. Yep. They bring the jib down. They get past his eye line. They push into like a low angle close up. It's a great shot. I've had to do that type, not that exact same shot, but the same idea of a shot, doing it with a single person jib, with a dual operated jib. It is a difficult shot. The entire shot is executed perfectly and is in focus the whole time. The rest of the close-ups in this entire fucking episode are out of focus. I don't understand what's going on. They nailed the hardest fucking shot. Did the one guy who can pull focus is like, I got the one in the can. I'm going to lunch. See ya.
They all high-fived and said, let's go to the bar. We're done. You guys, you just take care of it.
You finish it up. You finish it up. We're done here.
All right, I got that out of my system now. Thank you.
I mean, but you're at 100% right. That was a very cool shot. And like when it was happening, I was just like, all right, fucking yeah. So the next scene is the next morning. Sawyer's cleaning up his tent. The thing has just been like totally gone through. His stuff's all over the place. And like, okay, I don't know where Saeed where he's doing his laundry or where he got this shirt, but this shirt is just like sterling white.
It is. It's yeah.
But Sawyer comes up and he just starts needling him.
Yeah, Saeed looks like he's gonna go somewhere nice, like he's going out to dinner or something. He's going to the club.
Right. As soon as he gets done talking to Sawyer, he's gonna go to his tent, put a like nice silk button up on over that crisp white tank.
No, he looks great.
Yeah,
Oh
but
God.
he's letting Sawyer have it. He's like, I thought the boar left this area, so apparently didn't, and he took your tarp. Why would do you want to go camping? And he asked him, "Are you enjoying yourself?" And Saeed just straight up is like, "Yeah,
Yes, I
very much so."
Yeah, no, I like that scene. That was a good scene. He's funny.
It was nice.
Again, Saeed is just the best.
The two of them, Sawyer and Saeed, they have this very antagonistic dynamic. But this scene proves that you can be antagonistic and still have chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Because, this scene was just like a lot of fun with the two of them. And it's like, because then it even continues on as, Sawyer basically tells him to fuck off and he calls him Muhammad.
Yeah. Boo. Couldn't make it 5 minutes.
But then this is Sawyer. His brain kicks in. He's like, "Oh, Saeed might have something I could use," and so then he says, "Hey, Saeed, And then he asks him, he's like, what did you hear? You said that you were out in the jungle when you were being chased by the French woman or whatever. You said you heard something. And Saeed, with absolutely no reason to lie, tells him. It's like, JP, when you were talking about, like, when Jack saw his dead dad and never tells anybody. This is the opposite of that. Saeed's like, yeah, I heard weird whispers in the jungle, and I'll tell anybody who asks.
Jack saw his dead dad in the jungle and then didn't believe anybody else when they had supernatural encounters. Oh, my God. So we cut to a flashback, and Sawyer's with a lady in what we find out very quickly is a hotel room. And they're about to have relations out of wedlock.
Unbelievable. There are no morals left in this country.
And just like every time I've tried to lose my virginity, Robert Patrick was in the room.
Ugh. That's too bad. That's really a shame.
Yeah, Robert Patrick's there. He's like, hey, before this gets really awkward, flips on the light. Hey, I'm also here. I didn't think he was gonna have somebody with him.
But I still wanted the light off.
Yeah.
This dude is named Hibbs. Hibbs. Sawyer chases this woman out of the room. Says, just go to the bar. I'll be right back, baby. And then as soon as she's out of the room, he just like, bam, throws Robert Patrick up against the wall. What did he say? He's like, I'm pretty surprised to see you because I thought I said the last time I saw you that if I ever saw you again, I'd kill you.
And he's like, yeah, that's why I'm here, to try and sort of settle the score between the two of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something about a Tampa job.
The old Tampa job.
Sawyer is like, how are you going to make up for whatever happened in Tampa? Hibbs he tells Sawyer that he has information on the OG Sawyer, the man from the 70s who killed who ran the grift that caused Sawyer's dad to kill his mom and then himself.
Here's the thing. When he pulls out that manila envelope from like the back of his waistband, like it was, like this is a full size, like 8.5 by 11 manila envelope. I can't put this in a pocket. And he pulls it out from like his waistband. But he was just sitting down. Were you sitting on the envelope?
It's hammer space. It's like a cartoon. He just like...
But yeah, so he is like, here's the info on the guy that ruined your life and whose name you've taken that you've been searching for all these years.
He's a dude named Frank Duckett. Used to go by Frank Sawyer. Here's all the information on him. Does he tell him? Is this the part where he tells him that he's in Australia running?
Yeah, well, he mentions that the guy who gave him the information is in Sydney.
That's what it was, yeah.
And we see the picture of the guy, and we on the podcast know that ain't him.
That ain't that guy.
No, that ain't that guy. So,
we cut back to the jungle. Kate is returning a gun to Jack, and they have a brief conversation about this is Jack's first appearance.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Like, they talk about getting Sawyer's gun back.
He's just like unloading the rounds into the briefcase. I'm like, why are you doing that? Stop.
I hate the whole thing. Like the guns under the rock. Like it's just everything. He's just the worst.
But yeah, so the whole conversation is dumb, and the whole it's all stupid.
Sawyer's got a gun. Kate's like, I can get it from him, and he's like, no, I don't want you to owe him. She's like, I'll get your gun, pop. Yeah. That's it. Stupid.
Cave.
Okay, really quick.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Charlie trying to make? Does anyone have any guess what the fuck this junkie is trying to make?
I thought it was like some sort of radio or something.
Okay, so like it looked like wires and a piece of like plain wall, maybe, or like a piece of scrap metal of something.
There's like a golf club head that he's shoving into like a cavity in the piece of metal, and I'm like, ooh, is this like are you making like some sort of spring-loaded device or something? And then he's just like wrapping cable around it, but can't seem to get the cable around it. That's all I could focus on in this scene was what the fuck Charlie's trying to do.
Like Charlie's thinking to himself, he's like, well, on Gilligan's Island, they were always making shit. I don't have anything to do today, so yeah. I'm just going to tie some stuff together that I found.
Yeah, sorry, Claire. I can't go on a nice walk with you. I have to tie this fucking piece of wire to this piece of metal.
But he's like, ah, yes, I'm the professor from Gilligan's Island now.
Yeah, this very sweet pregnant woman who he has had a crush on basically since he met her.
Yeah.
What, like 15 days ago? Who's only just recently returned to the camp and he was very worried about. Yeah, the wire scrap metal project's way more important.
Let's see. We cut to Sawyer in the jungle looking for his tarp,
Which he locates.
Yeah, finds his tarp, and he hears them whispers again.
Yep. And the whispers have now lines.
Yeah.
It'll come back around. It'll come back around. It'll come back around. And so now instead of it just being this sort of amorphous, no content noise whispers, now it's starting to like carry meaning.
Yeah.
And then the boar attacks.
Comes running at dude. Boars are no joke though. Like,
Dude.
I know people who live down south that they're like, fuck them things. They're not great if they are acting aggressive.
Yeah.
And yeah, the boar knocks him over, but then keeps running, and he ends up in a pile of mud.
Oh, and then we get our classic Sawyer catchphrase: "Son of a bitch."
Is that his catchphrase?
Yeah, he's like the only person on the island who says "son of a bitch," and he says it like in every episode he's in. You haven't picked up on that yet?
No.
Does everyone have a catchphrase?
What's Kate's catchphrase?
Jack.
Yeah, where's Jack? Like, I think I made this joke before, but like, Kate's catchphrase, if I were writing it, would be like, "Are you boys fighting over little old me?"
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cut to the beach.
Yeah. Cut to the beach.
Kate is talking to Sawyer. Sawyer's back at his tent. He's trying to fix the tarp, but he's covered in mud or whatever, and he's all, oh no, he's packing. He's putting together
he's gonna go kill the boar.
Yeah, he's putting together his hunting kit to go find and kill the boar. He's looking for some revenge.
I don't know. It's weird and childish to be like, I need to take revenge on an animal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever.
It's real weird. Which Kate kind of says, like, that's sort of like the content here is like, Kate's like, that's just a boar. Like, that's not
Right.
like, it's not attacking you. Like, why are you taking this so personally? This is really weird. Why are you being weird?
Yeah. And Kate, seemingly overnight, at least for us in the podcast, becomes a boar expert.
I don't remember exactly like what her area that she lived in, like before she blew the house up and everything. Was that like in Texas or some shit? Like,
Right. It's
Yeah,
where-
somewhere.
I don't know why she's like. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but when they start to like actually track the boar, and she's like suddenly like a fucking like boar expert, like, I was like, what is happening?
Well, and that's Kate though. You know, in the first episode, or she's like, I don't know how to work a gun, and then a few episodes later, when they're like, oh, we need to divvy up the party and get these guns in people's hands, they're like, oh, give one to Kate. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, Kate doesn't know how to survive. That's John Locke's thing. But all of a sudden, she's like, oh no, I'm an expert tracker. Like,
Right.
that's not a problem. Like,
Maybe when she was on the run from the U.S. Marshal, she had to hunt her own food.
yeah, at the come and go.
We'll cut back to a flashback, real brief one. Sawyer's made it to Sydney.
Oh, is this the gun dealer?
Yeah. He meets this guy.
The gun dealer who like has a conscience. Like,
I gotta talk about this dude.
Yeah.
please do.
This fucking guy. Okay, your one job: sell the gun. Shut the fuck up about like you gotta like look the man in the eye before you pull the trigger. Like, number one, you don't know who you're talking to, dude. You could be talking to like a fucking assassin who's like murdering people on the regular.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, Sawyer could be like, yeah, I fucking know. And you're next, dude. Like, shut the fuck up. And then, so that was my number one problem with him is just like, just do the deal.
Right.
I don't need to hear like this whole thing. And then the second, and JP, you'll love, like, the firearm safety discipline in this scene is ridiculously terrible. And it's like, they should have both been shot like 3 times. The fact that he holds, he's like, I better load this revolver first before I give it to him. That's the first thing I got to do.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is I absolutely have to hand it to him so the barrel's pointing right at my chest.
Yeah.
And like, maybe I can like, and then let's all finger the trigger for like 5 minutes while we talk.
He's like, hey, I know a lot of illegal arms dealers don't give you the bullets in the gun, but look the extra mile I go for the customer service here, okay? Give me a good review on the black market Yelp or fucking whatever. Like, just stop. And the whole thing about like, and the fact that he's like, a compact 357, you're not looking to score or steal. And I'm like, wait, you're now giving like persona traits to the firearm? Like, what?
Yeah, that was weird.
Okay, yeah, like there was a litany of like goofy ass shit in this scene, and the two of you know more about firearms than I do, but I'm not a noob when it comes to guns.
Yeah.
That's nowhere near the scariest looking gun I've ever seen in my life.
No.
Like, that's not even remotely close to the scariest looking handgun I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be one thing if he was handing him like a TAC 50 sniper rifle, like just like
Yeah.
man who buys a sniper rifle is not looking to scare or steal somebody, he's looking to shoot the asshole out of a fly from 500 yards. Like,
Flamethrower, you're looking to take someone out real quiet, aren't you?
yeah, man who buys a compact 357 is looking for a gun to put in his pocket because that's where it will fit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just shut the fuck up and give me the gun, dude. Like, come on.
You
don't
also
need this shit.
just told him that like you can't legally carry concealed firearms, so he asked you for a compact gun. Like, yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's
And
all.
he's like, he says something about citizens can't carry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, like, I'm really glad the scene was there because I love that guy. But man, it's so dumb. It's so stupid.
Wild.
It's very bad.
Yeah, but if people don't know out there in the Walden don't know about the Port Arthur massacre of 1996, I believe it was.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Australia doesn't allow their citizens to carry stuff like a compact 357. You can still own like rifles for like hunting and protecting out of the sheep station, but there's no semi-autos, there's no handguns and all this stuff.
Right.
And it's because there was this huge massacre, and then their federal government was like, we're taking your toys away.
Yeah.
And they've had very few mass shootings since then. So, correlation, causation, I'm not gonna...
You can still kill a wallaby if you really need to. You just... or a kangaroo or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta look them in the eye, and if you realize that you can't, no refunds.
Then no refunds.
I can't sell a used gun.
Yeah, right. Like, what the fuck?
Cut to another scene that's just bothering the fuck out of me. Hurley and Charlie burying Ethan.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, the only thing that is established here is that Hurley realizes that Charlie's probably not doing well.
Yeah.
But if you find a way to put that into an already existing scene and cut this scene, I guess the episode's 3 minutes too short, so that's why you have to leave it in.
Right.
All this shit felt like filler. Like, everything that wasn't Sawyer and Kate and the boar and the flashbacks, it was just like, well, we had a big thing happen last episode. We should have somebody talk about it, I guess. But it just all felt like filler to me.
Instead of putting the denouement of that story in that episode, we're doing it here.
Also, they're burying Ethan with his shoes still on. Listen, like, limited resources. Take the man's shoes. Take his clothes. Take all of his shit. You know.
Yeah. I mean, if Sawyer was there, Ethan would have been nude. He wouldn't even have buried him in that tarp because Sawyer needs a backup tarp.
He'd have taken his hand. He'd be like, "This is a good hand." It's a fake ass hand when they first in the wide shot when they drop him down. It's real rigid like a mannequin.
Yeah. Cut to the beach. Basically just following Hurley directly from the burial. He gets over to Saeed, talks to him. Did you get Gulf War syndrome? That was the other guys.
Yeah, this was funny. I take it back. This was good.
Hurley expressing an actual concern about his friend Charlie. And Saeed being Saeed 100% ready to help and ready to like do what he can. So like, yeah, he's like, you're right. Good call coming to me because I am a soldier. I probably have dealt with PTSD. Like, Hurley's right on the nose here. Like,
again, Hurley's an empath and he's actually looking out for people's like mental and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
Jungle.
Kate's busting his balls for not knowing how to track, and this is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
When did Kate become an expert? You followed Boone, a rock slide, yourself. How did she become an expert? Why is
Maybe we see her spend a bunch of time with Locke. That would be the only thing. Like if it's in an episode before this or something like that, where she's spending a lot of time with him. But like, if this is the one and only instance where it's like, oh yeah, Kate's an expert tracker, that's some shitty fucking writing.
She must have hunted with her dad or something.
Something, I don't know. Maybe we just don't know enough about Kate.
There'll be some throwaway line like, I know all about tracking. I used to fish. So she's basically like, hey, I'll help you fucking find this boar, but I want whatever.
Punch.
Yeah, I want whatever I want whenever I want out of your stash. Good
job on flipping Jack's assumptions on their head, I guess, because he was worried about Sawyer, Kate owing Sawyer something, but she found a way to weasel out of that, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
So now we get to a scene that, like, I don't know how you guys feel. I actually kind of like this scene quite a bit.
I was a little confused at the beginning because I forgot that the game was called or that some people call it I Never.
Oh, sure.
Because when I played this game in college, we called it Never Have I Ever, which is the same thing.
When you played it, it was called Mr. Busher, Please Approach the Bench.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at the beginning, but it warmed on me. And in the end, I thought it was good. It was a good scene in the end. I thought he was kind of creepy at the beginning, and like I was like, oh man, is he gonna try to like make a move on her? This feels gross. But then like as it went, and then I was like, oh, they're actually more equals in this scene. I thought it was pretty cool, actually. It was good.
Definitely comes off that way, like 100%, Jake. I was the same way where I'm like, oh, this is really gross. He's gonna try to get her drunk. But by the end of it, you realize this was all leading up to I've never killed a man. That's what he wants to know. Yeah. Has she killed someone? Because that's what he suspects. But it's a scene, like it's a longer scene, especially compared to a lot of the scenes we get in the show. And it gave two actors time to be in character and not just deliver plot information. I really appreciated just like, let them just have 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. I think the episode would have been better if it was just them together that whole time, and you could have, built that relationship out even more. Maybe, instead of the other stuff with Charlie and all those guys. Keep the flashbacks, keep the Locke scene, because that shit is great. That we're going to talk about soon.
Yes. We'll get to that in just a second.
I think I like this scene a lot too. Sawyer's a Republican, go figure.
Back when it was cute to be.
Back when it was like, oh, you
rascal.
Sawyer has the same dream again, but instead of Boots coming in the door, it's a boar. I don't know.
His dad becomes the boar. And I mean, who hasn't had that dream?
I have a dream all the time where Busher, you turn into a boar, but it's like a real sexy boar. You know?
With a gold chain and like some good cologne.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, gold chain.
Ooh.
Sawyer snaps awake. It's morning. It's the jungle.
This part made me laugh because you guys have gone camping before, right?
Oh yeah.
He wakes up and it is like goddamn 10 or 11 in the morning. It's so bright out.
Yeah.
If I go camping, I wake up at like 5. Like as soon as the sun is up, I'm like in my tent going, shit, I'm awake.
Totally.
Exactly. There's no way he slept through that.
Yeah. And he's sweating like he just ran a 5K. Like I get it. He's in his dream, he's reliving something terrible, but like, man.
And he's hungover. He had 2 airplane shooters of probably rum and scotch.
Well, we find out later that he can drink a lot more than that. So
yeah, all of his shit is trashed.
Yeah,
but Kate's is fine. Specifically, the boar came to fuck with his stuff.
Locke.
Just chopping
made me
on
laugh
some
out
fruit.
loud.
Hey, what's going on? Don't shoot. Like, just Like
the eating fruit thing is like the most casual, nonchalant thing that like a person can do. So like for him to just be munching on this mango or whatever as he walks up, I'm just like, fuck, man. It's just another instance of like Locke is living his best life on this island.
Absolutely.
Like he could not be happier.
And he brings coffee.
yeah.
He was just out scavenging, looking for stuff from the plane. He found some couple of bags, whatever, and a couple of bags of coffee. He starts brewing it up. They had a coffee pot with him, or found a coffee pot along the way. But
He got some more metal for Charlie. He's gonna bring back to him a piece of the plane.
That's what Charlie's trying to make. He's trying to make a Mr. Coffee, so like you don't have to like hold over a fire. He's trying to make one, so you can just plug that shit in.
yeah, good call. So they have some coffee. They talk a little bit.
He tells a really depressing, fucked up story about his sister dying.
That story is so crazy, and the way he delivers it is so funny.
It is.
Yeah, like he's like talks about his mom getting really depressed after his sister's dying, and then like a golden retriever showing up and like just being there, and like this really like obvious parallel to whatever Sawyer's going through. And then they get to the end, what does Kate say is like, oh, and then the dog was your sister, and he's like, well, that would be silly.
Hey, just like in the fucking plot of Air Bud, there's no rule that says dog can't play basketball. There's no rule that says dog can't be sister. Okay.
This story, I'm pretty sure, is bullshit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
think
it's 100% bullshit, because if nothing else, we know that Locke was brought up in a foster home. He didn't grow up with his mom. Like, this is all.
Well, he said it was his foster mom.
Did he say foster mom?
Did he? Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
he does.
Okay.
But he's also mentioned his sister before, hasn't he?
I
Or his
can't-
sister's been made
Well,
mention of?
maybe he's bouncing around between different families, and this is one of the families. But
Maybe.
he did have
maybe.
like a longer relationship with the mom, because he says like the dog stayed with them for 5 years or something.
Yeah,
like
okay.
that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all very confusing, but it just made me laugh that he's passing coffee out, and he's like, "Yeah, and then my sister, she fell on her neck and she died. And here's your coffee,
Off the
Kate."
fucking monkey bars.
Dude, let me have my coffee first. Come
Right?
on,
Like, let's
man.
not-
This shit is fucking heavy.
Drew Goddard, are you doing okay, man? She
Yeah.
could have just died, man. Fell off the fucking monkey bars and snapped her neck. That's dark shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, here in 2022, that's called trauma dumping, and you got to ask before you start doing that.
Yeah. Cut to a flashback.
Yep. This is a longer flashback.
Yeah. With fucked up color temperature. Anyways,
Sawyer heads out to the shrimp truck.
sweet shrimp.
Sweet shrimp.
Just a little continuity thing. He has the same bruised, blackened fingernails that he has on the island in real time. Those must be real world, like bruised fingernail beds. Anyways,
Yeah. This is the dude. This is supposed to be the dude. This is Frank
Yeah.
Duckett. He goes over there, orders up a shrimp,
spicy.
spicy. There's a very easy moment there where Duckett, Duckett's completely unaware, regardless if he was looking right at him, but like he turns his back away to go finish preparing the shrimp. Would have been the perfect opportunity for Sawyer to do it, and he can't.
There's a lot of tension in this scene. It's like, will he, won't he shoot
Yeah.
him?
It was good.
But that's really all that happens.
Once Sawyer decides he's not going to kill this dude, he goes to a bar. The bartender wants to cut him off. Like, he's apparently been there for a little bit, whatever. Tells him to fuck off.
Yeah, they are not nice to that guy.
No, he's working the day shift at a bar. Leave him alone.
There's another American in the bar. Who says something like, "Hey, I'm dry. Like, I hate to impose, whatever." Who is it? Christian motherfucking Shepherd.
Christian Liquid Lunch Shepherd.
He is in rough shape. Like,
Yeah.
they did some really good makeup or whatever, but like his face is splotchy and red. He's disheveled, unshaven. Like, he looks like he's days into a bender.
Yeah, I liked this scene. He looked pretty gross. They do the thing that lots of times in movies or television shows that they do, where like the amount of drinking they do is absolutely ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
they are knocking back shots of scotch or bourbon or whatever.
Scotch, yeah.
I think it's scotch. Yeah, it's like Black Label or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just pour something in a glass, put an ice cube in there, man. Enjoy. Like, does not affect them at all. No. They're able to completely have a conversation. Like, it's ridiculous how much they drink in this scene.
Yeah. They both have what, like 3-4 shots in the space of about 5 minutes. Like,
The scene's like 4 minutes long.
Yeah. And Christian's already been drinking. Like,
right.
I mean, granted, he's a pro, but like, fuck, yeah.
There was we've seen Sawyer smoke on the island, but it was just jarring to see someone smoking indoors at a bar. You know, I was like, oh shit, I forgot. We used to do that all the time.
all the time.
We all smelled like ashtrays all the time.
Yeah.
But John Terry, the actor, for whatever the content or the substance is of this little monologue that he does, feel however you want to about it, but he sells the shit out of it. You know what I mean? Like he's good at just doing these little soliloquies of like, I'm just gonna just dump some shit on another character.
This was the shit I loved back in the day when these characters would show up in each other's flashbacks and stuff like that. I thought it was awesome. So
Yeah, like
cool.
it makes the web, it makes the world is much smaller than we all think.
So yeah, but they have a little conversation, and Christian has a whole bunch of shit. People are meant to suffer. My son thinks I hate him. Rather, I have gratitude and pride for what he did. I could call him right now, but I'm weak. You should go do what you need to do so you don't end up like me. It's there's a lot of just sort of like heavy concepts where you're like, you're wasted, but you might be right.
Well, and this goes back to what Jake said earlier about the gun dealer. You don't know who you're talking to. You've just convinced a man to commit murder.
Exactly. He thinks he's like getting him to like make up with his girlfriend or something like that. And he's like, you know what? That old fucking drunk was right. I gotta go fucking shoot this dude now.
I'm at 4 belts of Johnny Walker. I'm marching right back to that shrimp truck, and I'm blasting that fool with my compact 357.
I'm not robbing him.
Yeah, what is it that you need to do? Oh, I need to go murder a stranger. Wait, what? No, don't do that. No, you convinced me, Doc.
I'm waving you off. I'll take back all that shit I said. Oh my god. But that's what he does. He marches.
He marches right back there, and he fucking ices that dude. Dude, just murks him.
Oh,
now imagine it from the other guy's point of view, because he just says his own name and then shoots him.
Sawyer. What? Or are you back for your hot shrimp? You left this here earlier.
That would be like I go to McDonald's, and every time I want to order a Big Mac, I just yell JP at the person. Like,
I thought that scene was pretty brutal, man. Like in the rain and everything.
Yeah.
It was cool. And then when you get the reveal that he was set up to do it, I thought that was really good. That was pretty effective. So and then you're like, ooh, of course that's what it was. You know, it wasn't that this guy was actually looking out for him. You know, so it was good.
Some real kind of cool noir type shit with the rain, and then the betrayal, and then, finally, oh man, I dug it a lot. Like, it was brutal, but like, I was gonna pay like that. Like, I was like, this guy's kind of a prick, but like, fuck, that's not a death sentence.
Josh Holloway's reaction to very quickly realizing he's been duped is quite good.
Yeah.
Cut back to the island.
Yep. Charlie's splitting some coconuts, peeling some coconuts. Little, I don't know how many, if people know a lot about coconuts, but like the little brown fuzzy thing, that's actually inside a much bigger rind. So that's what Charlie's doing. He's taking that huge rind off to get to the brown
it's like
fuzzy
green,
part.
right?
Yeah,
it's like
the outside of a coconut is huge and green, and so you got to get that off to get to the nut.
It's like an avocado. Like, I got to get through all of that like weird green shit to get to the nice hard bit in the middle that I like to gnaw.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
And then inside the avocado pit, you crack that open, and there's a Ferrero Rocher.
Avocado milk.
Dude. Saeed comes up to talk to him. For broadcast TV, half-assed psychology, talk therapy, whatever, this is like a pretty nice thing for Saeed to have said. Like,
right.
They talk back and forth. It's like, you shot a guy, like,
and Charlie's kind of an asshole about it. He's kind of indignant. Like,
right. But then he asks him, he's like, you got any advice? And Saeed stands up and gets ready to walk away. And you get this idea, like, you should fucking deal with it. It's going to be the advice. But he says,
"You're not alone. Don't pretend to be."
It tells him a story about when he killed someone and sort of how that affected him.
yeah. Most of us out here, at least I know the three of us aren't murderers or anything, but like, but that bit of advice can be applied to a lot of stuff, a lot of trauma. Like,
Yeah, we've all got shit, man.
yeah. And so, yeah, I just kind of liked that because it also, not only was it well delivered by Navy and Andrews, but Charlie seemed receptive to it too. Like, it sort of seemed to, soak in a little bit.
I think my main problem with this whole thing is it feels just rushed. Like I was saying before, it's this should have just been its own episode. Like, develop it more, give these characters something more to do instead of just like, I don't know, 6 minutes of screen time or whatever it ends up being.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
because this is a super short scene here. This could have been a bit bigger part of what we already know is a bigger story.
Especially with like how much bullshit Charlie filler we get going into like season 2. It's like you could have explored this much better.
Cut to the jungle. Kate and Sawyer find a piglet. Sawyer is going to use the piglet as bait. He grabs the piglet and starts harassing it. And that pisses Kate off, and she storms off. She's like, "Don't quit! Like, I was entertaining your bullshit before, but like, you're being a massive prick. So I'm fucking off."
Yeah. So Sawyer finds the boar, and he's like, "Oh, there you are." He again wants to shoot with one hand all the time. Put that other fucking hand on the gun.
Oh my god! I thought I have the same note. Of course I do.
Yeah.
It's on brand or whatever. But he's like, you know what? The best way to kill this boar would be to shoot from my hip with a handgun.
Yep.
It's going to get it every time. Eventually, he kind of pulls it up a little bit and almost aims. So, but at this point, we kind of realize that this boar is actually the guy he killed, right?
Yeah,
that is
right.
coming back to haunt him or whatever, right?
Yeah, if we piece together the whispers from earlier, the Locke story about the dog, like, this is Frank Duckett.
Yeah. Or maybe it's Locke's sister. Did you ever think about that?
She's like, do you know where Locke is?
Hey, do you know where my sweet baby boy is?
There's actually several boars over here. There's a boar over here that represents Kate's stepfather. There's
what if
Charlie's
that's just
brother, Saeed's girlfriend, Hurley's mom? We all have to like.
No. What if that's the wrong boar? What if the boar that Sawyer's been looking for is back at camp smoking all of his cigarettes?
Well, I was gonna say he should have just gone back to where the tarp was the first time because that's where he is. Like they didn't need to track him at all. They could have just gone right back to the same spot. So.
Right.
The thing had been harassing him the whole couple of days, however long this thing. Like he didn't have to chase it. Like he could have just hunkered down.
It'll
and the
come
thing,
to you.
Yeah. He decides not to kill it.
Yeah, he decides not to kill it. Puts a gun down. He decocks it from the hammer. That's a SIG 226. It has a decocker built in. You fucking chump.
He's only familiar with revolvers. Give him a break.
Yeah.
Familiar is a strong word.
Oh yeah.
Real scary guns like revolvers.
And Kate's there, and he decided not to do it.
Yeah.
Let's go back to camp.
I feel like it's anticlimactic.
Yeah. There's a real quick cut to the beach here where we see some of the folks building the raft. Sun and Jin and Walt are out on the beach, just kind of just doing regular shit, hanging out, whatever. Claire's watching all this happen, and so Charlie comes up and he's like, "Hey, you got time for that walk? Let's do it. I'm gonna stop sulking about this murder that I committed and try and deal with it." Because it's not like I'm going to jail. And so they go for a walk. That's kind of sweet. And then we cut to the jungle.
Jack's doing work again, at least.
Yeah, more firewood or whatever he's doing. I think I've said this before, and you guys have already touched upon firearm discipline and stuff like that. But don't point a weapon at somebody as a joke. That's not funny.
No, never. Under no circumstances is that funny.
Right. And Jack is like, "Are you trying to be funny?" And so it's like, "Yeah." It's like, that's not funny.
No, that's.
I guess it shows that Sawyer's still just a big jerk face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that's kind of what ends up being the result of this scene is he returns the gun. He's like, I give it back. He's like, I asked you for this 2 days ago. Well, I'm giving it to you now. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
They have a conversation, whatever. Jack says that he repeats what his dad said in the bar. That's why the Sox will never win the series. And then it dawns on Sawyer that this dude is, that the dude he met in the bar was probably Jack's father based on all this other stuff.
Yeah.
He has the opportunity to pass along Christian's message. Like, I actually met your father in Sydney, or something like that. Or he didn't even have to be that direct about it. He's like, maybe I never met your father, but, I think he, I think he'd be proud of you or something like that. You could put some subterfuge or whatever on it, but he just doesn't. He's just like, no.
Also, pretty good memory. Like, I didn't remember that's what Christian said, and I wasn't 9 shots in. So, like, good on Sawyer for being able to recall this one throwaway line that he said in a monologue's worth of shit.
That's why the Sox will never win the series.
Which is ironic because they won it 2004, right?
Right. The same year that this aired. That's it.
That's it.
Smash cut lost.
Outlaws.
Yay.
Holy shit. Did we like it? Was it good? Jake, what are your thoughts on this episode?
After I watched it last night, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like that. But talking about it more with you guys, I think there's a couple scenes in it that are really good. I got my quibbles with, some of the stuff that it's in it, but
sure.
I think the story's actually pretty good. They land the whole flashback thing well. The boar being the guy coming back to haunt him is a little goofy or whatever, but like the stuff that he's actually dealing with is really heavy stuff that I thought was pretty compelling. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
JP, what do you think?
Just to echo what Jake, what you were saying, I feel like the scenes that I liked, I really liked. The scenes that I hated, I fucking hated. But there was some nuggets of some really good stuff in here. So yeah, I'll give it like a yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Adam?
Yeah. We've seen this I think before in some other season 1 episodes. There's some spots in here where you cut you cut a scene here, you rewrite a scene here. There's a very good episode inside of here, buried under some shitty shit.
Yeah, it's a Ferrero Rocher inside of an avocado pit,
right. under all that gross green icky stuff.
It's funny because the parts that I thought I wasn't gonna like, the Kate and Sawyer of it all, was actually the stuff I liked.
So, right, it ended up being some of the best stuff in the episode. Yeah,
I think that's why it stands out to me as like, yeah, it's actually pretty good because these are two characters that traditionally I have really fucking hated, and I got some scenes with them that I really enjoyed. So
I got a couple of bits of trivia about this.
Oh
episode.
Shit!
Just pulling these from Lostpedia. This was the first episode of what we call in the television industry, which doesn't really. Well, I guess it does kind of still exist on broadcast, but this was the first of of the back 9.
Yeah.
Lost was initially picked up for 13 episodes. This was the first episode of the back 9.
Yeah.
After they had gotten picked up for their full season, or 13 plus 9, 22 full. And then the other, and this is a much better piece of trivia, Ian Somerhalder and Maggie Grace, playing Boone and Shannon, do not appear in this episode. It's the first time that either of their characters is absent, and it's not nearly early enough.
Yeah, did not miss them.
Yeah.
You want to do MVPs?
Let's do it.
All right, so this is Lost MVP. So who is your favorite character from the episode, minus your context, minus anything else you know about these characters? Jake, who's your MVP for Outlaws?
I'm going to say John Locke. I just love his energy. The way he comes into that scene and just absolutely steals the whole thing that they've got going on.
It's so
like, how
good.
far have they walked? Like, why did they sleep in the jungle? They must be far away. So he must be far away too. And then his whole coffee thing and his story is just, I love it.
It's great. It's phenomenal. Yep.
JP, what is who is your Lost MVP?
My MVP is Old Man Parks. I mean, even back when he ran capper for them down in that gig in Atlanta, now he's working at an off-track parlor in Sydney, and he still keeps in touch. You know what I mean? Like, it's so important to maintain relationships, and he did such a good job on the Atlanta job that, like, they're still keeping in touch with him to this day, even though he lives all the way across the ocean. And like, I don't know, I get a good vibe from him.
Sure, why not?
Adam, MVP.
Saeed.
Oh yeah.
I dug the way he kind of brought a resolution to the Charlie aspect of this episode. And his delivery in the beginning, his scene with Sawyer, I loved his scene with Sawyer. His line delivery was a lot of fun.
Fucking kills it every time.
I mean, it's easy to go with Saeed because he rarely does something wrong. And I loved him. He was my favorite non-main part of this episode.
All right, so the other half of this bit is Lost Forever. Who is your least favorite from this episode? Who could you have done without? Who was the thorn in your side? Jake, who's Lost Forever?
Well, I was initially going to go with the gun broker, but he brought me a lot
that
of
guy
joy.
fucking sucks.
Yeah, he really sucked, but I really enjoyed watching him. But no, it's Jack for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, stay in the woods and just gather firewood for the rest of your fucking life, dude. Like, seriously. It's so annoying. And then give the guns to Saeed. Give them to somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. He'll take good care of them. He won't let people point guns at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They won't just throw loose bullets everywhere in the jungle. Get out of here.
Jag off. JP.
Yeah.
Who's your Lost Forever for Outlaws?
Christian Shepherd. Listen, you had been at that bar for a minute drinking when you're like, I've suddenly forgotten my wallet. Fuck you barfly. You can ask to share a drink with somebody and be more of an adult about it. Like, if you're going to be an alcoholic, at least be a good one.
What was his plan? Like, what if Sawyer doesn't walk in there? That Australian bartender's beating his ass.
Right. Adam, who's your Lost Forever?
My Lost Forever for Outlaws is going to Ronald Wilson Reagan. A month after it was passed, Ronald Reagan repealed the Mental Health Systems Act of 1980. Granted, I read up on the thing that led to the passage of this bill, the President's Commission on Mental Health, which was commissioned by President Carter just before Ronald Reagan. And there were plenty of problems with it, but its goal was to bring more attention to not just our institutionalized and chronically mental ill, but mental health in general. Stop and to try and not think about mental illness so much, but mental health too. And had this bill not been repealed by Reagan, who knows what sort of resources could have been available to a young boy like James Sawyer Ford.
Preach.
To make him into a whole human instead of the trash fire man that we see on Lost. And granted, we've said this before, this doesn't lead to good television, but like James Ford was, I looked it up on Lostpedia, the flashbacks took place in 1976. 4 years later, there was a passage of the bill, the Mental Health Systems Act of 1980. He could have been, in his teen years, dealing with the trauma of seeing his father shoot his mother and then kill himself in his bed. And
you okay?
Fuck you, Reagan.
There's a vein popping out on your head right now. I can see it.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Burning questions? I don't know.
Did you guys have a burning question?
No.
Are the boars and the polar bears friends?
Now we're fucking getting to something here.
Here we go. Jake, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you. It was fun.
This was an absolute riot.
Yes, very, very good. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Sure. I teach Filipino martial arts here in northeastern Wisconsin in Appleton. We're part of a system called Anayan System 3. And I do have an Instagram page. It's IS3, number 3, Eskrima, ESKRIMA_Appleton. We post videos and stuff on there if anyone's interested in that sort of thing. You can get in contact with me if you're interested in learning about it.
Jake is the Lost on Lost most deadliest guest, and I would not recommend anyone try to take that title from him. So...
I'm only deadly with a very, very nice, scary revolver from Australia.
We'll make sure to tag the Eskrima IG page. When I was in college, when we were in college, I trained with Jake in an Eye and Eskrima. It's a interesting and historical martial art, and yeah, definitely. Even if you're not like planning on training or anything like, it's still a really interesting thing to learn about.
Yeah, it's used in a lot of film and television fight choreography these days, which is kind of cool. Like, if you've ever seen like the John Wick movies or the Bourne Identity movies, that sort of thing, a lot of those people that do the fight choreography for that are like Filipino martial artists, which is pretty cool. So
yeah,
nice,
very cool,
awesome.
JP,
yeah,
what are we doing next time?
Paravian starring Claire.
Come again?
Paravian starring Claire.
Oh
yes. Next, if you're looking to be lost with us, next time we'll be watching Par Avion starring Claire.
What season's that from?
I don't fucking know.
God.
Oh man. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Lost on Lost.
I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
Do you have any idea what's going on in the show?
Nope.
Me neither. Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.